All right, today we're diving into a really fascinating story from the Buddhist scriptures. Now, this is about a battle, but forget swords and shields. This is a battle that's fought entirely inside the mind.
So let me just start by asking you this. What if your greatest enemy wasn't some force on the outside, but an intruder who was already inside your walls, operating from behind the scenes?
Okay, so let's set the scene. Our story is all about a revered monk named Maudgalyāyana. This guy is one of the Buddha's top disciples, and when we meet him, he's just sitting, completely still, deep in meditation.
And in the middle of this perfect silence, something weird happens. A sound, like a crack of thunder, just erupts from inside his stomach. We're talking loud, unsettling, and totally out of place.
Now you have to understand, Maudgalyāyana is no ordinary monk. He has some serious spiritual abilities. So he doesn't just write this off as, a bad lunch. Nope. He decides to investigate. He uses his power to look inside himself to find the source. And what he finds is, well, it's pretty shocking. Peering inward, he discovers the noise isn't indigestion at all. It's the demon Māra, the personification of temptation itself, who has shrunk himself down and is literally hiding inside the monk's stomach.
Maudgalyāyana doesn't miss a beat. His voice just rings out, full of authority, confronting this intruder head-on. He tells Māra to get out, not just for his own sake, but for the sake of all of the Buddha's followers.
But Māra is cocky. He thinks he's being super clever, super stealthy. He's literally thinking to himself, even his master, the Buddha, wouldn't know I'm in here. How could this guy possibly know? He is completely underestimating his opponent.
And this, right here, is where the story takes a brilliant turn. Because Maudgalyāyana, using his powers, reads the demon's arrogant thoughts, and his response is something Māra could never, ever have seen coming. He looks inward and says, "Oh, I know exactly who you are, because in a past life, I was a Māra myself." I mean, can you imagine? This is no longer just a confrontation. This is about to be a masterclass from someone with inside information.
So Maudgalyāyana launches into this story from his past life, back when he himself was a demon named hatred. And he uses it to explain the two fundamental traps of temptation.
Okay, let's break down the demon's playbook here. It's actually a brilliant two-pronged attack. Tactic number one is persecution. This is the obvious one. Get people to beat the monks, scream at them, humiliate them. The goal is to make them angry and hopeless. But tactic two is way more subtle, seduction. Here, you get people to shower them with praise, expensive gifts, all the luxuries. The goal there? To create greed and an attachment to their own reputation. So you see, pain or pleasure, both are weapons. So, how do you fight back against that first trap? All the hatred and abuse? Well, the Buddha, in that ancient story, taught a very specific antidote. The defense is a practice of boundless compassion. First things first, you have to recognize the abuse for what it is, just a ploy by Māra. Next, you actively work on cultivating what are called the four immeasurables. That's loving kindness, compassion, sympathetic joy, and equanimity. But here's the crucial part. You then radiate all that goodwill outwards, even towards the people attacking you. When you do that, it's like Māra's hatred has nothing to stick to. It just becomes powerless.
But what about that second trap? The more insidious one, the trap of seduction and praise. Well, there's an equally powerful defense for that one too.
The key here is mindful detachment. Again, you start by recognizing that all the praise and gifts are just another one of Māra's traps. Then you spend time contemplating that everything is impermanent. The good, the bad, it all comes and goes. By reflecting on suffering, emptiness, and the fact that there's no permanent self to get attached to stuff, you can use what's offered to you without greed or clinging. You can accept the gift, but your mind stays totally free. So, back to Maudgalyāyana's story. His past self, the demon hatred, had tried both tactics, and neither of them worked. The monks just wouldn't break. So, feeling frustrated and cornered, he decides to escalate things dramatically. In a total fit of rage, the demon grabs a big club and strikes one of the great disciples right on the head. It's a shocking, brutal act of violence. He crossed a line, a big one. The Buddha of that age saw this happen. And he didn't get angry. He just turned and said with this incredible gravity, "Māra, you do not know your limits." It's a chilling moment, this acknowledgement that things have gone way too far.
And the karmic result was immediate and catastrophic. For that single act of violence against a spiritually advanced being, the demon's body was instantly destroyed, and he fell into one of the deepest hells.
And the scriptures are really vivid in describing the suffering. They say his agony was like a fish thrown onto scorching sand, or like a cow that had just been skinned, writhing on the ground. The text says the torment was millions of times worse than any pain we can possibly imagine on earth.
And that brings us right back to the present moment. Maudgalyāyana has finished his cautionary tale, and now he delivers his final warning to the little demon hiding inside him. He ends by quoting the Buddha's own words, a warning that just echoes through time. Do not test the Buddha or his disciples. You will only fall into a wretched place. Basically, don't mess with us. You'll only destroy yourself. And the effect is instantaneous. The Māra in his belly hears this firsthand account, realizes he's been totally found out, and is just overwhelmed with terror. And poof, he vanishes without a trace. Defeated not by force, but by pure wisdom. What a fantastic story. It just lays it all out there, and it leaves us with a great question to think about. Of Mara's two main traps, the obvious pain of persecution or the subtle poison of praise and seduction, which one do you think is actually harder to escape?